He who plays a fool is not a fool. 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene. What up, Watson? It's the Baba Yaga, the destroyer of illusions, Mr. J. There are no strings on me. See, us as human beings, we care way too much about the image to be truly real. See, in order to be real, you have to learn to sacrifice the image in your head. What do I know? What do I know? See, I made a video a couple days ago talking about how the ego, it's hard for the ego, it's hard for us as human beings to learn when the ego is dictating things. The ego doesn't like learning. It needs to feel superior to everyone. For God's sakes, the ego is, it's all about me. Look at me. It's all about I. That's the ego. See, so whenever I try to do my best to help the world see things from a better perspective, from a different perspective, I'm ridiculed, I'm belittled, I'm crucified. And I understand that, so I'm willing to sacrifice my reputation, my image, for the future, for a better growth. So, I'm going to put you guys in a position where you, society, Watson, are superior to Mr. J. Mr. J is going to put himself in a position where he is inferior to you. Ooh, how am I going to do that? How are you going to do that, Mr. J? I'll show you. It's elementary. And before I go any further, this should show you I don't give a fuck what people think. And I clearly don't give a fuck about failure. See, less than 6 months ago, I was living in a room. I was renting out a room, right? Paying $800 a month, $200 every single week. So half my check, practically almost half my check, went towards rent every single week, which was leaving me broke. I was renting a room nearly 2 years, paying $800 a month for a small ass room. And while I was living there, I received an email talking about how I qualified for a cheap apartment, a very cheap ass apartment, the voucher, Section 8 shit, all of that, I forget the exact name, right? And I dismissed it because I already had a room. I was paying rent, I got a job, I'm doing what I gotta do. Fuck that shit. I don't want to be another shelter system. Scratch that, right? So I kept doing what I gotta do. But as time went on, I was like, fuck, I'm busting my ass for a fucking room. I'm paying $100 for a fucking room, man. I could do better than this. Why not try to take advantage of this opportunity that's there for me? If it's there. But I had to do something a lot of human beings will never do. I had to go into the shelter system to take advantage of that very opportunity. So this is me in a fucking shelter system with my own fucking room. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. I'm one of the only people with his own fucking room. I've got a job, I'm not lazy as shit, I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm just focused on the end game. See, like I said, a lot of us care. What's just so funny about living on this planet? We all want to live in New York, but we're constantly complaining it's expensive as fuck. Whose fault is it that you don't know how to live within your means? Yes, I want to live here in New York. I want to live here in Manhattan. I honestly want to accomplish my vision here in New York. I've had plenty of people be like, Jose, you should go to LA. Why don't you go to Vegas? Somewhere where you'll be successful. That's a weak ass mentality that you have to go somewhere else in order to accomplish the impossible. No, I'm going to stay right here smack down in New York. Like they say, if you can succeed here in New York, you can succeed in anywhere. But I don't know how to give up. I don't know how to give up. All I know how to do is keep learning to be better. So look, I just put myself in a position where you are superior to Mr. J. Mr. J just admit he's living in a shelter. He labeled himself a homeless man to get a cheap ass apartment. But see, we care about the image way too much that none of us will reveal how flawed we really are. See, again, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. There's a method to my madness. And I understand, simply because I think differently, in the current society is going to deem me crazy. And they're going to cast me out. But when I'm gone, and they start to pay attention to actually start to analyze my actions and realize where I came from, they're gonna miss me. And then they want to label me a genius. But like Einstein said, when the world realized he was right about his theory of relativity, someone went up to him and was like, yo, it's crazy, you were right. You're a genius. You were right about the theory of relativity. How'd you know that? You know what Einstein told him? He goes, I'm not a genius. All I did was stick with the problem longer, where everyone else gave up. With that being said, be bold. Be phenomenal. Invent this motherfucking universe. I just let you know, I'm a working man who's labeled homeless. How is it a man who has nothing can easily smile, and a person who has everything can't do that? And I'm Monster. And I'm Bonkers. Much love. This is so fun.